Shalom. All praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Yahweh is the true name of who the world calls God. Yahweh Shai is the true name of who the world calls Jesus. I'm going to give double honors to my teachers, starting with the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Barakathum. That is to say, blessings and salutations to the hopefully elect out there. And Lord's will, just through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, this is uplifting and edifying to the elect. To whom this may concern. I just wanted to, through the spirit, do a quick video um, to again, Lord's will, uplift the elect, the hopefully elect. And pretty much what inspired me to do this was the fact that I have a close family relative, that she just recently lost a baby, and just trying to comfort her, which through the scriptures, even though she's not really, she's not a believer, she's not in the truth or anything, but, nevertheless, because when it comes to these scriptures, man, these scriptures, which is why in the scriptures, all right, the scriptures are referred to as the comforter, because pertaining to these scriptures, man, when it comes to questions that we may have pertaining to anything, it all, that's the beautiful thing about the Bible, man. It's like the in the scriptures, it pretty much whatever questions you have, you can find it in the scriptures, basically, anything, the Lord really attacks all angles in these scriptures, man. And it's just a beautiful thing, because before we come into this truth, we pretty much don't understand a lot of things, and why things are so. And one of the main things being death, which is something that really it really, when it comes to the topic of death, because pretty much death, because there's really no such thing as death, when we merely die, it's just merely the process of the spirit leaving the body, and the spirit going back to the spiritual realm, where the scriptures talk about how even the wicked, all right, when they die, when they so-called die, even their spirit goes back to the spiritual realm, the flesh goes back to the earth whence it came from, and the spirit goes back to the spiritual realm with the Heavenly Father, because all spirits belong to the Heavenly Father, all right. But like I said, death is just one of those, the concept of death is just one of those things that, it really, people really don't understand. But nevertheless, again, this is why we have the comforter. This is why we have the scriptures, to give us that understanding. And, again, the beautiful thing, man, when we come into this truth, it's just like, this is it, man. When it comes to this truth, when it comes to the true understanding of the Bible, this is it. This is home, because it's almost like a weight being lifted off your shoulders, so to say. When you, all these questions that we had before we were, given this knowledge. Once we're given this knowledge, it makes sense. Those questions, they get answered. And again, because it's only going to make sense to the elect. All right. Again, at the end of the day, this message is only for the elect. All right. So to whom this may concern, like I said, through the spirit, I thought I would do a video on this, because, like I said, a close family relative, she lost a baby. All right. And of course, it's gonna, it's because it's easier said than done. When we lose loved ones, being in the flesh, You know, because pretty much when it comes down to it, man, when we lose loved ones, that's not the end all be all, you know. Um, and pretty much, you know, when we lose loved ones, we don't have to worry about it, you know, because they're good. But like I said, of course, it's easier said than done, being that we're in the flesh. All right, but just through the spirit, I just want to do this video. Lord's will is edifying because, again, when we lose loved ones, it's not the end all be all, you know. Believe it or not, we're going to see them again. We're going to receive them again, you know. So I'm going to go through this account here in 2 Samuel chapter 12, verse 13. Starting at verse 13, it says, now, mind you, King David, he committed an act of adultery. All right. He slept with another man's wife. And she ended up getting pregnant by his child. And to pretty much cover it up, King David, he had the husband, he set it up to where, you know, he would get killed in battle. All right. Because according to the law, a woman, she's supposed to be bound by her husband for the rest of her life until, like the saying goes in the world, till death do us part, you see. Because a woman, she's only allowed to remarry and get with another man if her husband passes away. All right. So again, with that being said, King David, he set it up to where the woman that she committed adultery with, her husband, he set it up to where he would be killed in battle. All right. So 2 Samuel chapter 12 and verse 13, it says, and David said unto Nathan, I have sinned against the Lord. And Nathan said unto David, the Lord hath put away thy sin, thou shalt not die. Howbeit, because again, and this is why the scriptures talk about the sure mercies of King David, because again, the act of committing adultery, that's a sin worthy of being put to death. All right. But to show you how the Lord, he supersedes the law. All right. He spared David's life because, again, he should have been put to death. And that's the type of mercy that we're seeking. That's the type of mercy that we're looking for, because, you know, we all commit or have committed sins worthy of being put to death. But we're seeking the sure mercies of King David. All right. Because we all worthy of being put to death. But the Lord spared King David. And again, we're seeking that same type of mercy. But verse 14, it says, howbeit, because by this deed thou hast given great occasion to the enemies of the Lord to blaspheme, the child also that is born unto thee shall surely die. So again, King David, the woman that he committed adultery with, she ended up getting pregnant. All right. But nevertheless, again, because the Lord spared King David's life, but nevertheless, he would still get judged for it, for what he did. All right. It says, and Nathan departed unto his house, and the Lord struck the child that Uriah's wife bare unto David, and it was very sick. David therefore besought the Most High for the child, and David fasted and went in and lay all night upon the earth. All right, because again, the judgment, the child, you know, got very sick, you know, and you know, just, I mean, for those of us that don't know what this is, don't understand his feeling of having a very ill child, you know, because you know, I'm sure there's people out there, you know, there's plenty of people that can understand and that can relate to having a child that's just a newborn babe at that, that's just, you know, just very sickly, you know, just dealing with all type of infirmities and things of that nature. You know, I'm sure it's hard, man. You know, I'm sure it was tough. I'm gonna read that again. It said, David therefore besought the Most High for the child, and David fasted and went in and lay all night upon the earth. And the elders of his house arose and went in and went to him to raise him up from the earth. But he would not, neither did he eat bread with him, because again, you know, it was hard. You know, here it is. King David is dealing with this sickly child, this sickly newborn. All right. He didn't want to eat. He didn't want to do anything. He was pretty much like in a depressed state. He was very hurt. You know, he was going through it. You know, people were trying to, you know, console him, and, you know, he just pretty much didn't want to be bothered. You know, he was going through it. It was rough. It says, and it came to pass on the 7th day, the child died, and the servants of David feared to tell him that the child was dead, For they said, Behold, while the child was yet alive, we spake unto him, and he would not hearken unto our voice. How will he then vex himself if we tell him that the child is dead? So pay attention now, because again, while the child, and this is what they're discussing, while the child, the child has passed away, all right, and they didn't know how to tell King David, because while the child was alive, all right, King David, he was going through it, it was tough. But here it is, the child is dead now, all right, so now they're just trying to figure out how they're going to get the message to him, how they're going to tell him. Verse 19, it says, But when David saw that his servants whispered, David perceived that the child was dead. Therefore David said unto his servants, Is the child dead? And they said, He is dead. All right, so again, the child is dead. They, King David, his servants are trying to figure out how to tell him that the child is dead. And King David, he pretty much, as he's seen them conversing, he pretty much figured it out that the child was dead. All right, and they confirmed it. The child is dead. All right. So verse 20 says, Then David arose from the earth and washed and anointed himself and changed his apparel and came into the house of the Lord and worshipped. Then he came to his own house, and when he required, they sat bread before him, and he did eat. So again, here it is, King David, while the child was alive, again, he was going through it. He didn't want to eat. He didn't want to be bothered. He was pretty much in a depressed state. He was going through it, man. He was suffering, right? Now, after it was confirmed that the child was alive, after it was confirmed that the child had passed away, well, King David, he got up. He went to give praises to Yahweh Bashim Awashai, all right? Because pretty much his countenance completely changed. After it was confirmed of the child's death, King David, his countenance changed. It said, then they came to his own house. Then he came to his own house, and when he required, they set bread before him, and he did eat. So, again, here it is. Before, he didn't want to eat. He didn't want to do anything. But now, he's giving praises to Yahweh Shema Shai. Now he's eating. It's like nothing ever happened. His demeanor completely changed. Now his servants seeing this, when we read verse 21, it says, Then said his servants unto him, What thing is this that thou hast done? Thou didst fast and weep for the child while it was alive, but when the child was dead, thou didst rise and eat bread. So they're like, what the hell is going on? Right? They're trying to figure out, like I said, while the child was alive, King David, he was going through it. He was depressed. He didn't want to be bothered. But now the child's passed away, and now, it's like nothing ever happened. King David, he's eating now. It's like he's good. He's good now. Right? It says, verse 22, And he said, While the child was yet alive, I fasted and wept, for I said, Who can tell whether the Most High will be gracious to me that the child may live? But now he is dead. Wherefore should I fast? Can I bring him back again? I shall go to him, but he shall not return to me. You see, so, again, man, because pretty much like I said, we lose loved ones on the side, man. And like I said, it's easier said than done. All right, because again, we are in the flesh, but we lose a loved one on the side. It's not one to, be all, because even the scriptures go into how when you lose a loved one, man, there's a time to grieve. There's a time period, a certain time period you're supposed to grieve, and then pretty much after that time period, it's business as usual. You can't be stuck on it. You can't let it get you all down and out. Longer than it's needed. The loved one, the relative, or whatever the case may be, they're passed on. All right, and that's it. We can't bring them back. All right, but like I said, because our forefathers, they understood this concept of how, again, like I said, those that we lose on this side, man, we're gonna see them again. We're gonna see them again. It's not the end. It's not the end all be all. All right, people that so-called die. All right, the scriptures say they're not the so-called death. You're just merely asleep. You're sleeping, man. You're at rest. You see, because again, the spirit goes back to the spiritual realm. The flesh goes back to the earth whence it came, and the spirit goes back to the spiritual realm. All right. So when people so-called die, all right, it's not the end all be all, man. And you see, we're gonna see him again, man. You see, that's the whole point. That's the whole message. We'll see him again. We'll get them on the other side, man. They're good. Cause you go to funerals, man. Which I don't do funerals. I stopped doing funerals a long time ago. But when you go to funerals, man, and Jake, man, they all you know hollering and just all boo-hooing and crying and just showing out and whatnot. And it pretty much, it's like that relative that relative that has passed on, man. They're looking down at you like, listen, man, I'm good. Because like I said, when those that pass on, they're good. They're in the spiritual realm, man. They're looking down like, y'all crying for me. They're good. You see, they're good, man. Like I said, even the wicked, when they so-called die, they go to the spiritual realm. They're at rest. All right. And at the end of it, hey, they're gonna come back, man. They're gonna be born through the loins of the elect. They're gonna come back. We're gonna see him again. That's why, hey, Yahushua, when the disciples asked Yahushua, well, we dropped everything to follow you. What are we gonna get in return, basically? And Yahushua told him, listen, man, everything that you lose, everything that you give up on this side, you're gonna get it back 100-fold. And that includes people that we've lost, loved ones. All right, whatever the case may be, Hell, you got judgment. The scriptures go into how the Lord brings forth judgment every single day. So, people are dying every single day, right? Well, hey, in the kingdom, we're going to see him again in the kingdom, like the 14-year-old kid that fell off that ride, 100-foot fall from that ride a couple of weeks ago. Hey, he's going to, whoever he's going to be born through, whatever loins he's going to be born through, he's going to come back. We're going to see him again, and he's going to be in his right state of mind. All right. You see all these people that so-called pass on, man, that so-called die, we're going to see them again, man. They're going to come back. So, like I said, ultimately, it's not nothing to really fret. It's not really to worry about, man. They're good, And like I said, our forefathers, they understood this concept. They knew this. You see? So that's why, again, King David, matter of fact, I'm going to read verse 24. It says, and David comforted Bathsheba, his wife, and went in unto her and lay with her, and she bare a son, and he called his name Solomon, and the Lord loved him. All right. You see, because like I said, the comfort of these scriptures, man, because, just trying to, like I said, this certain family relative, all right, just trying to comfort her through the scriptures, because, women more so, they I mean, you could break this down to them 1,001 ways, and they, just them being emotional creatures, man, just fleshly creatures, man. They're never really gonna be consolidated like that, but nevertheless, man. Again, man. See, this is again the comfort of these scriptures, man. Because like I said, before we came into this truth, man, people that so-called die, man. Hey, listen, some of them deaths, man, they hit home. Some of them, they hit home. I know one of my cousins, man. I remember when I was a boy, man. He always used to give us money, and he was just always there for us. He took care of us and looked after us. He was almost like a father figure. And when I heard his death, when I heard he passed on, man, hey, hey, man, I was wooed, man. Even to this day, I still remember him, and hey, Lord's will, I see him again. Well, slack it, because like I said, we're going to see him again. But like I said, his death, man, it's something that's still, and I'm not trying to say it in a sense like it haunts me, but it still touches me to this day. But now, knowing what I know through the comfort of these scriptures, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai, I know I'll see him again. I know he's good. I know he's good, but it's just stuff like that, man. Like I said, we before we come into this truth, we don't know, we don't understand. All right, but like I said, man, the comfort of these scriptures, man, and that's why, hey, Barakatah Yahweh Shema Shai, man, we have the comforter of these scriptures, man, the spirit of truth. All right, because death is not the end all be all, man. It's not the end all be all. All right. I'm gonna get this real quick. In Hebrews chapter 11, because going to Abraham. All right, Abraham, before when he was going to sacrifice his son Isaac. All right, his only begotten son, whom he loved. right? You know, when Abraham heard that the Lord, when the Lord told Abraham that he had to sacrifice his son Isaac. Now, there's no account in the scriptures, but we can only imagine how you know what emotions were going through Abraham, what was going through his mind, and what he was thinking, what he was feeling. Again, this is the only begotten of Abraham. All right, you know, Abraham, he loved his son, he loved Isaac. You know, but here it is, the Lord told him he had to sacrifice his son. We can only imagine what was going through Abraham's mind, man. But did that stop him from, you know, well, he didn't follow through, but I mean, he was going to, you know, and did that stop him? No, it didn't. Why? Because Hebrews 11 and verse, Hebrews chapter 11, I'll start at verse 17. It says, by faith. And that's the thing. Ultimately, you know, it all comes down to faith. All right. Because again, we're coming into the times where a lot of us, we're going to lose loved ones. Some of us are going to lose wives, children's, mothers, fathers, dear relatives, man. All right. But we have to have the faith that, hey, listen, they're good now. You know, if it comes to that, for them, they're good. You know, and again, we'll see him again. All right. It says, when he was tried, offered up Isaac, and he that had received the promises offered up his only begotten son. So you see, all right, Abraham's faith was tested, and it said he was tried. Like I said, we can only imagine what was going through his mind. You know, but did that stop him? No, it didn't. It said, of whom it was said that in Isaac shall thy seed be called, accounting that the Most High was able to raise him up even from the dead, from whence also he received him in the figure. So Abraham believed that, hey, if he actually followed through with it in actually offering up his son Isaac, Abraham believed, he had faith that pretty much he would see him again. You know, he had that faith. All right, because it's nothing for the Lord. Even if, you know, someone so-called dies, man, it's nothing for the Lord to raise him up. All right, and again, all those that pass on, man, again, you know, they are, so to say, going to be they're going to come back, man. You see, again, this is what this is what he believed, that even if he did follow through with the sacrifice, he would see Isaac again. He would, you know, he would see Isaac again, just like King David. Hey, King David said, you know, I can't bring him back, but, you know, hey, you know, I'll see him again, pretty much. You see. So you see, man, again, that, you know, ultimately, like I said, man, that's what it comes down to. Like I said, you know, those loved ones that we lose on this side, man, you know, hey, like I said, it's easier said than done because we're in the flesh, you know. But, you know, fret not, man, because we're gonna see him again. All right, we're gonna see him again, man. You know, and again, this is a part of the comfort of the scriptures, man. You know, because death is not the end all be all. All right. Like I said, this is close family relative. She lost her baby. All right. Well, it's gonna be all right, man. All right. To all of you hopeful elect to whom this may concern, it's gonna be all right. We're gonna see them again. We're gonna receive them again. You know. So hopefully this is uplifting and edifying to whom this may concern, man. You know, to the hopefully elect. All right. Giving all praises to Yahweh Bashim Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Yahweh Bashim Shai, bracket thumb to you, hopefully elect. Lord's willing, till next time, shalom.